LibertyOnline.com, where we have Libertarian Keith Blandford caught in the cold air crossfire between Brooke Fox and his ideology. So, let's go ahead and see what he can come up with next. Mr. Blandford, you wanted a little time? Take it away. The microphone and the internet is yours.
Okay, and you didn't want anything for him? No?
No, you know what the hell with that guy?
No, we don't want it.
Okay, now here's
don't worry, the police are
I got to give you this.
We barely feed it.
When we did the interview in what was it, at the yacht club, and we
Charleston
had,
Yacht Club.
Charleston Yacht Club, and we had, clearly we're the candidate who's trying to come up with the real solution to handle big government. We're not dealing with Republicans or Democrats or identities. We're trying to find a solution, and as we have debated, we're winning a lot of people over. After the debate was over, the cameras were still rolling, and someone came up to one of your staff, maybe one of your people, who at least had the shirt on, and one of those people from your staff or whoever said, "Hey, who did you like?" And the lady said, "Well, I actually like the Libertarian. He's got my vote."
Oh, you were popular.
And the person from your group said, "Oh, nobody takes them seriously, and the media won't take them seriously either."
That's a problem.
And
It wasn't me.
Hey, maybe, you know what? Maybe I said it. There you go.
I might have said it.
I don't know.
But I mean, no, the point isn't from
That's
that.
just an observation. The media will not take you seriously.
And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, if this lady came up, it's not so much about marginalizing me, I don't care, but it's about her. She had her opinion. She made her choice based on the strongest candidate. And then the media, who has you have a huge responsibility to this country, they step up and they say, "Oh, forget that. You're going to have to go with R or D."
Oh my God, I'm responsible for this.
Well,
and I think, and for me, I think
in the real free market of the internet, he can technically say whatever he wants.
Keith, let me ask you something. Let's take the supposition that you win. Who will you caucus with?
The Liberty Caucus. So it's a subgroup of the Republican Conference. Chairman is
there's a Liberty Caucus, which is a subgroup of the Republican.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because like for example, who's the senator from Connecticut?
Lieberman?
Yeah, Joe Lieberman, although an independent, caucuses with the Democrats.
Yeah.
So you would have to, I guess, the closest to your ideology you would find on some of the people in the Republican Party, your Ron Pauls, your Rand Pauls.
Yeah, and I think that's clearly the direction that we're going.
Well, one of the key things that you bring to this is monetary policy.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem I see with monetary policy. You got 40% of the people in this country don't pay any federal income tax.
Right.
You start talking monetary policy. Yeah, but they don't care. They get their money from the. They don't pay taxes. They have entitlements. They're just going to go and get their government cheese, and they don't care about anything. How do you hold people like that?
When we get that percentage of 40% not paying any taxes, does that mean they pay their taxes but they get the full refund back? Or does that mean they're cut off below some arbitrary
No, it's a
line?
combination of things where some people just flat don't pay any at all, and then some get, probably pay a little bit to get it back.
Pay
now, this is only income tax.
This is not Social Security or FICA.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you pay
just income tax.
Income tax, if you have $5,000 withheld and you get back $5,000,
then
in essence, you're one of those 40%.
You're one of that 40%. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well.
So how do you? My question really dealing with monetary policy is more of a communications problem. I mean, don't you find that people just start to get kind of a glazed look on their face when you start talking monetary policy?
I think that, I've been working a lot with the Austrian Economics and the Mises Institute to try to find a way to be able to communicate these things to people.
You really talk about popularizing the issue.
Right, and I think that, either we do this or, these things, it'll do it itself. Basically, for me as a free market guy, it's happening one way or the other. We're either going to do it voluntarily or we're going to go to barter, but one or the other. So, for me, I've used analogies and different ways of being able to communicate it as simply as I can. I mean, you can use, like, for example, the keg. Let's use the keg. So remember I said that at the yacht club. So you had half a keg of beer, and that's your money. That's all the money that's in circulation right now. You call the government up. You say, hey, I want more beer. They come and they fill that keg with water. So what the Republicans and the Democrats are doing is they're bickering back and forth about how to distribute the watered-down keg. They're not talking about that it was watered down in the first place.
So you're basically using that as an illustration. Basically, we're looking at an inflationary period coming down the road because of government monetary policy now.
Well, if you look at the 7 generations prior to the Federal Reserve, our dollar gained 11% in value. 7 generations since, it has gone down 98%.
Well, who takes the big hit when you have a problem with, say, for example, rampant inflation? Who gets nailed?
Well, I mean, everybody in this room who's been saving money all their whole life. So, what you're looking at now is the end game. This is the end game. So what they're doing, they don't have the ability right now to pay the bills. So they are printing money as we are sitting here to pay the bills. And what that does is it steals from everybody who has been saving their whole life. And they're going to print until they don't have any ability to print anymore, and then boop. The only thing that's holding our currency together right now is confidence. That means that people in the world are saying,
well, I think I agree because
I just want to go on this record and say, oh shit.
Oh God, we're screwed.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, this is such an abstract principle to most people.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, the fact that the government doesn't have any money. What do you mean doesn't have any money? I got a check last week. You know, that kind of thing. So it's just an abstract thing. It's just something we really almost can't comprehend, the fact that the government's going to run on. Oh, absolutely, I agree with you, but I'm just stating that it's kind of hard to.
Well, I mean, then we go back to what we opened the segment with, is that, you know, then the press they're just hopping on whatever the people want to hear. The softballs, the immigration issues, the touch, you know.
That's Elena Kagan's job.
You know, and basically here
softball
we are.
And
softballs, yeah.
That's Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor. Softballs and immigration.
That's why he hired her, because he knew for the White House press corps, he knew she could hit a softball.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Let's face it. They've been losing to the congressional team.
And we're not going to give you any softballs here.
And Helen Thomas.
Well, I mean, you look at that though. To answer yours, historically speaking, Americans were very informed about this. This was a very important issue, and presidential elections were actually centered around this argument. It took the Federal Reserve 2 generations to convince the American people that we needed one.
Don't hang me on your cross of gold, William Jennings Bryan, which was his driving issue, monetary policy. The gold standard, wanted to go to the silver standard, make money cheaper.
Right.
John, do you have any questions for our congressman? I want to hear John's voice on the show. We do this
How much time do we have, John? Because we got.
You got about a minute and a half.
Well, we're gonna have to give Brooke the next segment then, because we promised her this morning.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, shoot.
Brooke's unconscious.
The other thing I think about, I talked with Keith about this a little bit after the interviews on that Monday. You know, is all these facts are important, but what I fear is that like my generation, younger generation, and Percy's generation, we don't.
Right here, baby.
And the majority of
he's right.
The generation doesn't care about these problems. They don't want to think about them. They're real lazy about it. So,
well, they're gonna kind of be forced into not being lazy.
You're in for a rude awakening.
So, no, not us. Whoa, we know. We're here on Cold Radio getting all the facts.
We know. But now the problem that we have is, or at least I have.
I'm with you. I'm with you so far.
I have no clue how to curb the minds of a couple million people.
No, you walk the walk. I mean, that's it.
You walk the walk, but you live in our generation as long as you have. You know that nobody really cares if you walk the walk.
Yeah, they're too busy staring at Facebook to watch anybody
most
walk.
Of the, when you look at any type of way of affecting society or the way of making an impression on society, is you walk the walk. In almost any religion, you can see that. Even in, let's say, in Christianity, they said like
religion's something we can all agree on.
That's right. Thank God we're away from the hot button issues.
You're not a divider. You're a unificator.
You're a unificator.
Well, I mean, most religions.
Christ told me to invade Iraq, and so I did.
And so, I mean, I understand that, but I do not see any other way.
Of course, the other thing is you bring up religion, and then the other thing is the problem with our society is, of course, the majority of our generation is atheist.
Yeah.
And we'll end on that.
We used to call them heathens.
We'll end on the general sacrilege and blasphemy, and we'll get back here in about 3 minutes with another 8-minute segment of trashing our Lord God.